your trash can.
They walking up in there?
We'll just put in an appearance.
An appearance?
20 minutes tops. We can get through 20 minutes of anything.
I mean, nobody could relate to a client quite like he could. And it wasn't an act. He genuinely cared. Addiction is a disease. He was a good lawyer and a hell of a guy. What else is there to say?
It still doesn't seem real. I mean, I expect to see him charging down those stairs with a big grin on his face.
This is probably the last time any of us will be in this building. HHM is downsizing.
Seriously?
Yep, they're going to take half a floor downtown. And they're changing their name. Bruckner Partners? Something like that. End of an era.
Bruckner Partners.
Yeah.
Had we heard that before?
Have you spoken to Cheryl? Did not even have a body to put in the ground. I heard she took a leave from her practice.
She fine with it.
Cliff, very sorry for your loss.
Cheryl, I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine what you must be going through.
You two were the last ones to see him, weren't you?
That's what the police said.
Howard told me that you were harassing him, playing elaborate pranks of some sort. That you wouldn't leave him alone.
I know, he thought that. He told me as well.
Now you gonna make that man look
He
crazy.
honestly believed it.
But you're denying it.
There was a certain amount of jealousy on my part because Howard had the respect of my brother, which I never did.
Tell me what you told the police.
Shout out to her.
Guess it had to do with the Sandpiper case, but I couldn't make head or tail out of it. We tried to calm him down, but he just wouldn't. Finally, he left.
I'm not oblivious. I know people are saying he was on drugs. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
He just didn't seem like himself.
Are you hearing all of this? Because none of it makes sense to me.
Cheryl, maybe we should just...
I don't care what people are saying. I don't care what the police think. Howard was not on drugs. That simply is not true. There's something more to this.
Watch Kim.
I don't know if it's my place, but I
Please, just spit it out.
I was still an associate here, working late on a brief, and I saw a light on in Howard's office, and Howard was there at his desk, head down, and he was snorting something. I looked at him. He looked at me. I didn't know what to do, so I just walked out. And the next morning when we saw...
Kim is getting me tight. She out here lying her ass off. Kim, fuck off. Jimmy, you already know fuck off. But Kim, fuck off.
I didn't know what to do, so I just walked out. And the next morning when we saw each other, neither of us said anything about it. I never told anyone. But now I wish I had.
They put his smut on his name. They put his smut on Howard's name. I hate it.
In all the years that you worked with him,
Oh, no.
have you witnessed anything
Yes,
like this?
watch him say it.
Even a hint.
I witnessed it like a motherfucker. This is fucked up. It was hoes.
Cheryl, this really
and
isn't the time or
drugs.
the place.
Cheryl. You were his wife.
Kim, shut up.
You saw him every day. You knew him better than anyone. Maybe I misunderstood what I saw.
Maybe it was cornstarch. Maybe he was making a stir fry. Kim and Jimmy. Fuck the Saul shit. Kim and Jimmy. Jimmy and Kim. This shit was villainous. They put his smut on that man's name to his wife.
I know that was tough.
Oh, tough, huh?
But it's over. No, I mean, really.
It's not over.
Let the healing begin.
No. Let the... Y'all about to fuck, huh? This type of lying turn y'all on. Two peas in a scumbag pod. Wait. Oh. Things will never be the same again. They'll never be the same.
I submitted an additional motion. I'm assuming you have not seen it yet.
You're requesting to withdraw from this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I ask why?
Personal reasons, Your Honor.
You can ask, but I ain't
Personal
telling.
reasons. Would you rather discuss this privately in chambers?
Thank you for the consideration, but no.
You know what, Ms. Wexler? Mr. Ornstein's here, I'm here, we all showed up for your party, and now you're taking away the punch bowl. I'm inclined to have you argue your motion, and then I'll consider late arriving petitions.
It's impossible for me to continue with this hearing
And why is that, Ms. Wexler?
because I'm no longer an attorney. I gave notice to the bar 2 hours ago.
Okay.
All right, I know why. But Kim, you can't just...
Jimmy,
Just let me say my piece, okay? Just let's take a breath here. But Kim, you don't just throw everything away. This is your life. You're a lawyer. Huh? You give them everything you've got. Who are they going to find who's half as good as you? No one. They need you.
It's already done.
Oh, we're going to find a new place. We're going to leave here. We're never, ever going to come back here again. Things will look brighter, I guarantee it. But
She's going
first,
to
we have
Nebraska.
to fix this. I'll order a pizza. We'll pull an all-nighter because we're in this together.
What, Jimmy?
Just...
Jimmy!
Mm-hmm.
You asked if you were bad for me. That's not it. We are bad for each other.
Yes, absolutely.
I have had the time of my life with you. But we are bad for everyone around us. Other people suffer. Apart, we're okay, but together, we're poison.
Motherfuckers are abominable.
Tell me what I need to do to change, okay? Just tell me what it is and I'll do it. You make me happy. We make each other happy. How can that be bad? I love you.
I love you too. But so what?
No, Kim, you're wrong. This is about Howard. It was that fucking Lalo Salamanca. That psychopath came back from the dead and he walked through that door. He did this, not us.
I knew.
You knew what?
I knew he was alive.
No, you didn't.
I saw that car following me again. And it turned
Mike
out
had a
that
combo.
Mike Ehrmantraut had guys watching both of us.
Mike told you that Lalo was alive. And you didn't tell me?
She thought she was protecting you.
First, I thought he would be caught if he did, and I told myself I was protecting you. But that's not the truth. The real reason I didn't tell you was because I knew what you'd do. You'd blame yourself. You'd fear for me. You'd want us to run and hide until you were sure I was safe. You would pull the plug on the scam, and then we'd break up.
Weirdo shit.
And I didn't want that.
Them two are the worst. I know there's supposed to be like some sentimental shit. It ain't for me. It's hilarious. Them two, like what she's come to the realization now of. We've all come to the realization way before this. Like you two are the worst for each other. Because there was a moment where it's like, yo, he's gonna bring her down. Then there was a moment like, oh my gosh, she's bad for him. And then it was like, wait a minute, you two suck together. And now they come to the realization, and she's sitting there crying like a fucking idiot, talking about, I want to break up with you. So that's why I'd inform you that it was a goddamn psycho on the loose. And I was informed by a one Mike Ehrmantraut. I'm sorry. This is a terrible reaction.
Because I was having too much fun.
Y'all was living it up, baby. She's like, I gotta go. I'm dying. She packing that box loud than a motherfucker. She making sure you hear that tape.
He's coming after you, personally. Listen, you have a choice, okay?
You got that
You
Giuliani comb over.
Another public masturbator? Which one? A new guy?
Hilarious. He said, which
Everyone
one?
must be doing it. Breakfast bar, go ahead, take one. I'm not talking to you. And then get the kid with the camera. Send him up there. And then call the newspaper and say that Saul Goodman is outraged at the
shits be dry
fiery
than a
fiasco
motherfucker.
on the 40.
I'm here for you, Albuquerque. Better call Saul. Call 505-503-4...
Did you hear that? It's in mono. I'm not paying for that muffled crap.
Put that bitch in stereo.
It's what the Beatles used. Call the bank, cancel the check, call the station manager, tell him to crank it up, or I'll see him in court.
Got it.
She got that look.
Move.
She got that look. Enough time has passed. Yo, they really did a time jump. World's greatest lawyer.
What?
All right. Let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
Wait, so are we staying right here? They did a time skip. I wasn't expecting it. I'm joking about her bouncing. I'm like, oh, she's in Nebraska. Right? That's where she was from, right? And that's where he went to. That was always my theory since the beginning of this. I just assumed she went back there. Who knows, though, right? But I'm laughing and joking about the tape because that shit was like, it just sounded like her getting out of his life. She was like, you hear her pat the box. I'm sorry, that shit's just funny to me. I don't know why. I have no idea. People may think that reaction is weird, but it's been a long time coming, and they were bad for each other. People got hurt and shit, so that shit wasn't sad for me or anything close to that. It was comedy for them to just now realize, and not them, for her to realize it. And it only took that happening to a guy who they were going to have their great moment of ruining his fucking life. And she decided not to tell him because the end point would be them finally breaking up and not having no more fun. Yeah, they're bad for each other. They're both silly. Like the same way I laugh at Jimmy and shit, I was laughing at her with that, right? Because it's like, y'all goofy. And they can't. Yo, there was a moment in there where, so when she kisses him, that was the end point. That's why I sang that little song, you know what I mean? Things will never be the same. But you could see that they were too good at that with the wife. Even after all of that happened, you would think at some point they'd get choked up or stumble or fumble over their words, or because, you know, deep down inside, the motherfuckers were smooth with it. Weren't they? You sort of look in Kim's eyes. She do this contemplation thing where she'll look down and then she'll say some words and then finally make the eye contact and start talking. You know what I mean? She's like, I didn't want to say anything about this, but fuck off, Kim. They got too good at it. And so it hit her like, damn. And he was just happy to be done with the situation. That's the thing about how he lives. It's situation to situation. He don't be thinking about like the overall thing. And I'm trying to think. She does. She thinks about like that. Yo, that's actually interesting. While he's looking at like the short term, she looks at the long term. And her reason for even kicking it with him like that was like some long term shit. But Jimmy's reason for kicking it with her like that is on some short-term shit. How she makes him feel right there at that moment, happy. Hers is like, yo, I'm trying to help him. And it's also fun for her right there at that moment. But you see the way she thinks about like helping him and the situation, like even getting married, right? It's a short-term solution, but right, like they were getting married. That's a big thing, to the point where even like looking back on it, Jimmy didn't even think of that, right? Like he was nowhere near that. Where her, she was like, I got an answer to the problem. You know what I mean? To the point where it caught a lot of us off guard, where we didn't even realize it until the next episodes where she says the reason that she did it. Right? Because what was it? Spousal privilege or some shit like that. But yeah, I'm thinking about that. Listen to me. If you're new to this, or you watch my reviews, nothing I'm saying is facts or how I feel. It's me trying to contemplate this shit at the moment and think about it. It's almost as if I'm having a conversation with y'all to come up with how I feel about this. My review is right after this. So what I'm just thinking like, she would always sort of take herself out of the situation a little bit, but she would still decide on, okay, being with him is best. But she wasn't like naive or oblivious. That's the thing about her. Whereas Jimmy, he could be naive and oblivious. Look at how like the final scenes between them two. There was this moments of like, and how Mike sort of goes to her. What was the word that he used where I just couldn't get over it? But it's like she's not naive. And even when she's doing everything she do, is it worse? I won't say it's worse. I'm not going to go that far. But she knows what she's doing. Whereas Jimmy, he almost does it in spite of himself. And then he comes out the other end like, yo, I'm not trying to fuck that. You know what I mean? It's like, but there are moments where he does do it. But like I said, it's not, it almost always seems to be an answer to a problem he has at that time. And so when you see her sort of lay the foundation for what becomes the overall plan for what they got for Howard, that makes sense, right? Because he's kind of thinking like, okay, I hustle and all that. And it's weird. Yo, I'm trying to think. Because his hustles be so complex and all that. But it's for that moment. Right? So them being, oh man, as I'm thinking about this, what the writers did with the thing with them coming together for Howard, it only works if them two are doing it together. Because like I said, while he can come up with some intricate shit, which he did his part, she has that ability to have this sort of long-term vision and goal. So that's where them being together was dangerous, right? Yo, when you hear her reason for not telling him, I'm thinking she's just going to be like, I was trying to protect you. But it went even deeper. She was like, I was trying to protect you because I know you'd want to go to hiding. You know what I mean? You wait for it to settle down and then come out or some shit like that. And then we break up. Basically is what it ended up with. You see what I mean? How she thought ahead like that much. He don't really do that unless it comes to the hustle. You feel me? Even the way he handles his lawyering, it's like, boom. You know what I mean? It's like, got a plan. This is what we need to do. But yo, is that the end of seeing her? We're going to see it. Okay. Actually, it just hit me. We're going to see her some more. We're going to see her when we get back to the present. I'm assuming. These are all assumptions here. But for them to skip like that is like, oh, okay. So we're doing it like this. I wonder what else they got going on. But that makes sense because I also asked, well, where do we go with Gus? Because the thing with Gus and his story has always been, I'm talking about in Better Call Saul, has always been that we know where it ends up. We want to see how it gets there. And to see he had all these obstacles in the way and he had to deal with it and all that. But then we got to a point where it just seemed, okay, Don Eladio respects his hate. Salamanca is tight with him. He got everything going. Now he's working on building the underground meth lair. And now what? And then you see that little moment where it almost seemed like it was signaling to us. He's kind of letting his guard down for the first time and letting his guard down in a real way. Like it was, I guess that's his version of flirting with dude. They talking about wine, something he loves. And then you saw the look in his face where he caught himself like, I gotta get back on my P's and Q's. Left a tip and bounce. Well paid and left a tip and bounce. Then the thing with Mike, like I said, that adds so much more value to, because think about that. We understood that. It was simple. He doing this for his granddaughter. He cared about his granddaughter. But to take Mike and make the stake, if you watch Breaking Bad after seeing this with Mike and you don't like they added so much more stakes to Breaking Bad. As I'm thinking about it, it's just like, if you watch Breaking Bad again after watching Better Call Saul, I would assume, just think about how much more they added to it. Think about how much work it took to make that underground space And look what ends up happening to it, or has to happen to it. And you know what I mean? Think about all that. This motherfucker. But listen to me. Listen to what Gus did. Look at everything Gus did here, all the way to when him and Salamanca get blowed up. By the time we get to the adjusting of the suit, oh well. Look at what that adds even more to it. Like, yeah, okay, you think that was as deep as it could go, and we saw how much more deeper it is. Mike, well, he's like, yo, you ruined some shit, man. We had some shit going. You ruined some shit. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, it's like everybody got their hubris and shit like that, right? But the thing with Mike is like, he just never expected, right? But the thing with Gus is he didn't give a fuck unless it was about Salamanca. That man was on his P's and Q's. When it came to Salamanca, that hate, he could be caught off guard. And I'm saying all of this to say, I saw a headline. I didn't read the article, but the headline for this article was Better Call Saul shows how to do a prequel like right. And I'm looking at this. By the time we get to this episode, I'm like, holy shit. If I watch that again, I'm going to appreciate it differently. Notice I said the word appreciate it. It's not just going to be like, I'm watching it differently. I'm going to be like, damn, dog. Look at all this shit Gus had to do with it. Damn, dog. Look how much Mike care and try to protect situation to make sure there's no collateral damage. And you see what I'm saying? It adds something to it for characters that aren't Walt and Jesse and Skyler. Right? You get what I'm saying? Or Hank. The show achieved that. And it's crazy because it kind of just hit me because we're at a point where I'm like, well, what else is left? Now that we're at that point where I could even ask that, it's like, oh shit. That thing with Lalo and Varga, you know what I mean? It just makes the whole situation just, yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah. Just as a show on its own, okay. But as a prequel, it's like, when people ask, could Breaking Bad ever be done again? Okay, right? Good question. I think it's even more rare that we'll ever get something like Better Call Saul again, to where you have a show so revered like Breaking Bad, where every season was a hit. And I mean like a critical hit, and motherfuckers fuck with it to the point where people like me come afterwards and are watching it, and I'm rocking with it. And then you throw this at it, and it's like, you added to it, didn't take away from it. I don't have nothing else to say, man. Yeah, next episode.